Hey yo guys, it's Crazy Cactus here. In today's video, I want to show you guys how you can make awesome Pokemon art like you saw in my thumbnail. And honestly, the first thing you're probably wondering is, I don't even know where I start, Cactus. Like, I'm gonna panic here. I want to create cool art, but I don't know where to go. Tell me where I need to go. The answer is Fiverr. Not sponsored. And once you're at their website, now you're looking around and you're going to find your artist. And for this video, I'm going to be focusing on my friend Convey7 over here at Fiverr.com. I've worked with him before, and you can see he's done a card sleeve design for me in the past. And this is the same exact design that you'll see on my shirt if you've ever come to my channel and seen my live streams. That one right there, that's me. Over on the right side of the screen, you can see he has different tier levels. You got your basic, you've got your standard, and you got your premium. Depending on what you get, you're going to get more. So you can see everything here, standard, premium. I typically go for premium team up because I'm going to get 2 Pokemon in the designs, printable resolution file, all this good stuff. So you really want to pay the higher amount to get everything that you want. Now everyone, most people like Convey on Fiverr will ask you to reach out to them privately first before you put in an order. So I would always recommend contacting the artist first before you put in the order. Definitely do that. And when you do reach out to an artist like Convey, you want to make sure you have what I like to call a ref sheet. So number 2 is going to be creating a ref sheet. All right, so for this first example of a reference sheet or ref sheet, I have here the ref sheet that I created for Deep Pocket Monsters. So you can see I supplied all of this in a private message to Convey before I put in the order saying, hey, are you comfortable doing this? Is this something that we can do together here? And you know, he looks at everything, he's seeing all my inspiration. In my ref sheet, I include things like the logo, the Pokemon that I want to include. I've done my research on DPM. I know he likes Houndoom. Now I know, you know, Iron Valiant is a newer one, but I'm looking at Iron Valiant. I'm like, you know what, this could be cool. It can go for that darker motif that I want to do for DPM for this card design. I'm using these dark grays, light grays, blacks. I'm using these kind of dark purples, like some dark reds, like lilacs. And I'm trying to, you're trying to keep to a certain color palette, a certain design, a certain motif. If you look closely, I even want to include like little dollar signs, possibly little coins. I make all of that, anything that you want the artist to know, you add into a ref sheet just like this. Sometimes people will call it a mood board if they're doing like a massive project, but in this situation, I always just like to refer to it as a ref sheet, and I like to give the artist as much information as you possibly can. Now, it's at this point that an artist like Convey or whoever you end up hiring will say to you, okay, yeah, I can do that. They might create for you a custom order form, and then they'll send it to you for you to pay. Or they might say, okay, no, you're good, you know, pay at that level and we're good. So, which leads me to my next point, pay your artists well. Try to find an artist that definitely, you know, charges what's a fair rate. Sometimes I see people try to find like the cheapest person, and that's not always the best option. I truly am a big believer in you get what you pay for, and art is definitely no different. So always try to get the highest quality that you can, and I don't think you'll be upset. If you can afford to do that, go for it. All right, so and as you guys can see here, I have the first mock-up design after I paid Convey. So he sent me this first sketch mock-up, and you can see he lays in the flat colors. This is something he does. Not all artists on Fiverr that you hire are gonna do this, but he lays out all the flats, he gives the composition, he kind of does the best that he can, with also a little bit of his own artistic flair. He's got like the dollar motifs, he's got the colors, he's got the Houndoom, he's got the Iron Valiant shiny. So it's all looking good, but then I'm gonna show you, while leading into the next step of what you have to do is give clear and concise feedback to your artists on what you want them to update from the first sketch that you get. And the thing is, don't be vague. And you can see that right here with my next image that I'm showing you on screen. I'm numbering everything that I want the artist to change. Numbering it, drawing lines to everything. Oh, add this, do that, update this. I don't like this. I want you to get rid of that. All those kinds of things. And as I go to the next screen, you can see here, I even, not only do I make an additional visual ref to show him what I like and don't like, I also, in my note, with this visual attached, I say erase that, I changed the dollar signs from green to this color. I didn't like the green in the previous sketch mock-up because I felt like green clashed with it. So I'm like, I'm trying to use colors that work with each other. It's also one of the reasons why the Iron Valiant is not the regular Iron Valiant. I wanted the shiny one because if it was the regular one, it'd be like green and pink, and I think the green would have clashed. It wouldn't have worked. So that's another thing that I like to focus on, is things that I feel like artistically work well together, I'm gonna do. I don't want things to, if it's mismatchy, people, you're gonna be able to tell. So give clear and concise feedback. Don't be wishy-washy with an artist. Artists prefer, in my many experience with working with dozens of artists over the years, just give clear feedback. Don't be afraid to be like, no, this is not good. Please change this. Don't be like, well, I'm not sure about that. Maybe it would be better if it was red. No, like, be clear. Don't be wishy-washy. Don't do that. All right, so for this next one here, we see some great improvement, right? The colors are darker how I wanted. He's taken all the feedback into consideration, but there's still a few more things that I want to slightly modify, slightly change. Like, for example, some of you might have noticed that Houndoom's foot in the front looks a little off. So I asked him in my feedback to follow up again, because you go through many iterations like this. So again, I have a couple more things to update, including the foot, and then you'll see how it works out. By the way, here's a quick visual of me also, again, reattaching another visual reference to show the artist Convey 7 what exactly I'm specifically referring to when I request these changes in text and with a visual to show. And here's the final result. And so here's the final result, and when everything's good, the colors are good, everything's just meshing well together. I love how awesome and amazing the Iron Valiant shiny looks. Houndoom looks pretty boss. Just everything came together really nicely. There was only one thing that I went back to later that even the artist pointed out. He's like, are you sure you want this way? And I said, yeah. And in retrospect, it was my mistake. I think if you'll notice in the bottom left corner, you see those dollar signs are black. And I was going back and forth with maybe bringing those a lighter color, like a white, to help it make it pop more. And I did end up going with that. And you can see the difference here that I'm about to show you. So you have this version, which is originally what I accepted before moving on to the next order. And then when he went back and redid it with that lighter version, which I do think was the better option, and I'm glad that I asked them to come back and do that. And this basically leads me into my last 2 points, which is, one, make sure you please thank your artist that you end up working with. Just a little bit of gratitude goes a long way. Like I said, I did end up tipping Convey for going back and doing that change for me there. That was really appreciated. And a thing that I like that Fiverr has done recently is they made this change about, I want to say 2 years ago, whereas before, if you used to tip a person, like let's say I did tip Convey, it was $15. Before, what Fiverr used to do is they would take out their percentage from that 15, so like the artist would only get like 12, which a lot of people rebelled against, and for several years they kept that policy, but then they changed it a few years ago back to what it is now, and that's where I'm happy to pay the few extra dollars for fees. So like he got the full $15 amount, but then I pay Fiverr's fees on top of that, so I end up paying $18, but I'm okay with that. And then that leads into my final thing which is it's okay to make mistakes. You're going to learn from this process of hiring an artist, working with an artist. You're going to learn what to do, what not to do. But I hope that this process, showing you what I have with DPM here and what I'm about to show you with my whole process for the artwork that I made for Pokeballer Mike and Pokedean as well, I hope that might help you in this whole process. And so for here with Pokeballer Mike, you can see I did the same sort of research process where I go look at Mike's channel. I know Mike. I know what he likes. He loves Suicune, so of course I'm going to use Suicune in this card sleeve poster design artwork that you can also maybe one day put on a t-shirt, just like, you know, the one in the back here. I also know I went to his user page, and I see he also likes Articuno. Now, I know he likes Articuno too, but I was like, you know what, that's gonna work. You know, these colors are gonna work. It's not gonna be like, I don't wanna reuse the same colors like I use with DPM. No, that's gonna be boring. So I'm like, ooh, like for Suicune and Articuno, I can use blues, I can use like lighter purples, maybe some dark blues, some baby blues, throw in some white, you know, for a little bit of highlight action there. I also know from looking at Mike, his motifs, like he's got the fire. He's got his own fire emojis. He's got his own Pokeball his logo is literally a Pokeball. But I was like, you know what? No, I want to maybe use Great Balls because the blue will work with the whole color scheme I have here. So that's what I did. So you're gonna see that in this design as it goes. So as I move into the next spot here, you can see, okay, here's the mock-up. So what Convey did here is he took all that information and he did he put all that in there. Now, as you can see from my feedback, I'm like, okay, you might guess based on you've already seen the final design once I've uploaded to Instagram and everything, but I didn't like how many Great Balls were there, and I thought he did too many of the fire emojis, so he had to take some of those away. And again, I gave an image reference and I gave text feedback as well, so I can say, hey, listen, change this, delete this, do this. Otherwise, everything's looking great, but if you could just do these things, that would be awesome. And sure enough, you know, here's the visual, right? I say, because originally the background was more like splotchy, and I said, no, I want like literally concise, like circles, that kind of that kind of pattern. And I didn't like how he didn't follow the Pokeballer Mike how I wanted it, and I didn't want Poke-Baller Mike. No, I want Pokeballer in one word, Mike. So this one required a little bit more changes in terms of that. But I'm showing that, like, if you're not sure if you're worried an artist might not understand what you want done, make a visual reference. Just do it to be safe. So then going into the next stage here, he does another mock-up, so he makes those changes. You can see the Pokeballer Mike has been changed. He's taken away some of those Great Balls. But as you can see again, I'm like, okay, I got this back. I'm all right. I still see a couple things I want changed. So as you can see there, the big red arrow. I didn't really like that. I actually thought, you know what, maybe it'd be better with it gone, and I put that in my notes. So look, right away, he took care of it, got rid of it. You know, I think it looks better, because if you had that icon between Suicune's legs, you would definitely, it looked a little odd. It looked odd. So we didn't do that, and then we move on, and this is the final product. So I think it came out awesome, came out amazing, and I loved the colors. I told them that everything looked awesome, and people are like, you just said awesome like 4 times in a row. But yeah, so that was really good. And now we're getting into my boy Dean. So for Dean, for those of you who don't know, Dean loves Charizard. A lot of you people out there love Charizard. Dean is the Charizard king. I've seen the guy pull a lot of Charizards in person when I met him back in February at Collecticon. So I know he loves Charizard. Here's where I did a little something different. Like I did with Deep Pocket Monster, I incorporated a new Pokemon from the newer generation. So I have Armarouge in here, and I was like, ooh, I found this pose of like Armarouge, like, you know, aiming his arms, like where it's combined into like a cannon, and I got a lot of like Mega Man vibes, so I'm like, this is dope. I wanted to incorporate more reds, more oranges, more yellows into the color palette for this piece, so to differentiate between the other two that I just had Convey do. I don't want them all. I don't want things to look the same. I want things to look unique. So I gave references for Charizard, how he's flying, like what direction he's flying in, the angles for everything. Again, these ref sheets, you're trying to give the artist as much information as you possibly can. And so what does he do? He takes that mock-up and he sends me this as the first sketch stage. Now you can probably guess some of what concerns I had right off the bat. You can see the Charizard, in my opinion, was way too light. It was almost like yellowish, so that was one of my concerns. There was a lot of minor color issues with the Armarouge, in terms of I didn't think some of the reds were dark enough. There was missing some shading on his helmet. The gun was missing some details. The accent over the O in Pokédean was supposed to be over the E, not the O. So things like that you gotta notice. Oh, another thing that really stuck out to me is if you look at Charizard, his arm that's up like this, it almost looks like it's like dislocated. It's too high up on his body. Like if you draw a line, and I'll show you in my feedback here. See? This is everything I did. So there was a lot of feedback here. You can see the details in the gun, the colors. I pointed out everything that I possibly could, because I am very detail oriented. I don't hold back. Again, be specific with your artists. Artists appreciate when you have a clear, focus, and give this kind of level of specific feedback. Don't be vague. Again, I've said that earlier. Don't do that. And so this is the next stage. Now, I didn't realize until I got this stage, so he delivered this, and there was a couple minor things that were gonna bother me after I got the final product, the final piece, and you'll see why. So we got all the details in there. The colors were changed and updated for like the helmet and things. Obviously the Charizard was updated. But then we get to the final one, you can see here. So this wasn't the final one that I've uploaded to Instagram and to my community page here on YouTube. You can see the fire design in the gun. I knew that if this was printed, like if you tried to print this design on a shirt manufacturer wouldn't be able to really replicate that kind of fire effect inside the gun barrel. Plus also that special effect, like shiny effect around the outer rim of the barrel of like the, you know, that. It wouldn't be able to be replicated. And another thing was, I didn't like how dark this, there was like that brownish border color. I wanted it to be more red, so it would pop more like if Dean decided to print this on like a red shirt. I think it would look better. So as you can see from my next stage, here's where I give feedback and I say, okay, let's go back to that old school look you had of the gun, the colors inside the gun barrel. And I keep calling it the gun barrel, guys, because it's basically what it is, right? And get rid of the special effects and also just change that border color. And this is what we end up getting. So I think this one also came out really dope. I'm really, at the end of the day, I was happy with all of these. After this happened, after this one was finished, I went back to that first one for DPM and I did update that $sign I told you about, guys, early in the video. So that's at this point in the whole process is when I asked him to go back and do that. And then after that was done, I tipped him for his time doing that. But yeah, so if you guys have enjoyed this video, if you do have any questions about artists you might find on Fiverr or questions about Fiverr, again, I'm not sponsored from them. I didn't get paid to do this, to shout them out or their service. I've been lucky and have found very good, talented, hardworking artists on their platform. But again, not sponsored. I was not compensated in any way. I paid roughly for these 3 orders was with taxes and fees and everything was about $220, and then the tip. So you're looking at that. But again, good art is worth it. So don't cheap out on art. Find a good quality artist, pay them, you know, a good reasonable amount, and I think you'll be happy with the results. If you get something like this, which I think is amazing, I think you're gonna be super happy with it. But thank you guys for visiting the channel. If you could, before you head out, if you could like and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys, if you're a follower of the channel, I'll see you later this weekend. Peace.